Who is it? Hi. You guys, it's been a minute since I made one of these videos. So, a couple weeks ago I posted I just hit 100 subscribers YouTube count during what turned into a very weird experience of just going just a little bit viral. I acknowledge I am not the most viral person on the internet, but I've contracted something. I am viral of some kind. And not like in the pandemic way, in like the way where like people who haven't spoken to you in 10 years are texting you completely out of the blue just to ask if it really is you that they saw on TikTok. So I've been a little slow on the upload in the past couple weeks because I've had to figure out TikTok, which not only makes me feel dumb, it also makes me feel old, which is an awesome combination that I highly recommend. But kiddos, we are back because I have an important thing that I want to discuss. Now, on my magical TikTok virality adventure, I did get a really fun comment that really made me laugh. So I'm here today to discuss crossover singers. So the crossover singer exists in this liminal space between classical music and pop music. They're also known as Popera or Popera singers. They can often be seen in their natural habitat in Barnes & Noble between the Christmas albums and the musical theater medleys. But what makes a Popera singer, and more importantly, who are their leaders? It's hard to say who the most famous Popera singer is. I think that there's this a cosmic struggle constantly between Sarah Brightman and Andrea Bocelli. And now and then Josh Groban will show up to throw his hat in the ring. In the operatic community, it's super common to want to make fun of opera singers. It's like some of our favorite pastime. They're pretty goofy and easy to make fun of, but also it's because classical singers really love to gatekeep how classical music is perceived by the common folk. So it can piss off a lot of us to be compared to Sarah Brightman or Andrea Bocelli. It's why super fun and chill people like Classically Abby like to make weird and condescending medleys of Phantom of the Opera and put them on YouTube. Opera singers like to capitalize on the operatic aesthetic. So when you think of opera, what do you think of? Loud, orchestra, a language that isn't English, so basically Italian, super long, kind of boring music, dramatic and bad acting, really opulent. The audience is made up of the rich people side of the cast of Gilmore Girls.
Where'd your martini go?
To a happy place?
Do you want another?
Does Pavarotti want another donut?
So opera singers understand that you see opera this way, and they capitalize on it to take that sweet, sweet money every time you guys come to one of their concerts. They perform with orchestras, they put on the fancy clothes, they even sing in Italian, even stuff that isn't supposed to be in Italian, they'll still sing in Italian because that's what they know you think you want. So when I started filming this, I was being adorable, and I thought only one video would cover this. No. We shall make this a 3-part series covering the major players of Popera. Now, knowing where to start is pretty easy, because in the court of Popera, there are the courtiers, there's the queen, the princess, there's even the jester, but there's only one king. Now, Andrea Bocelli has performed with literally every famous person ever. If you think of a famous person, he's performed with them. And I'm only exaggerating a little bit. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for simultaneously holding the top 3 positions on the US classical music albums chart. If I sat here and listed everything he has done, we would die, people. We would literally die here. So instead, here are some fast Bocelli facts. So he never actually went to music school, but he did study to be a lawyer. And while he was doing that, he realized his true love was singing. He had been singing his whole life. He was always quite musical. Now, he actually went to study privately with Franco Corelli, who is a pretty big deal in opera land. Bocelli had won a few singing competitions, so he was doing pretty well. And he and Pavarotti, while Pavarotti was alive, were actually pretty good friends. And it was Pavarotti who recommended Bocelli for his first major touring gig. His crossover album Romanza is one of the best-selling albums of all time. He also had 2 insane hits, like Grammy-nominated hits, with Celine Dion and Sarah Brightman respectively. The first one, the Sarah Brightman duet, was originally a solo performance on one of his other albums, but they collaborated to make it an English and Italian duet, and it's still like the most cliche opera, not opera song of all time. I hear it everywhere, and you guys probably have too.
Time to say goodbye.
duet with Celine Dion called The Prayer was included in a soundtrack for a movie called Quest for Camelot, which I love and will probably do a video on one day. The Prayer was nominated for an Oscar in 1999 for Best Original Song and nominated for a Grammy the following year. Now, a funner fact for you guys is that friend of the channel, Josh Groban, actually got his start stepping in for Bocelli during one of these award shows. He was sick, and Josh Groban was around, and his voice teacher got him an in with the award ceremonies. So he sang in a rehearsal with Celine Dion, and then they reprised it a couple years after Josh Groban actually got famous and Celine wanted to be seen with him in public. So let's kind of dive into what makes Bocelli a popper singer rather than an opera singer. Pavarotti has done pretty much everything Bocelli has also done. Pavarotti had a duet with Celine Dion as well. Maybe it didn't do as well, but he was still very much in the pop world. However, if you ask any opera singer, we hold Pavarotti and Bocelli very much at a distance from each other. If I were just speculating, I would say it's because Pavarotti's career has been primarily operatic. He became famous through opera. He actually made one of the better known arias from opera a major cliche in the pop world as well.
Does Pavarotti want another donut?
Pavarotti has also been nominated for pop categories at the Grammys. So why are we so mean to Bocelli? Hey guys, so this is me editing, and I realized that I hadn't really put together a clear list of what the real differences are between the performance of a popper singer versus the performance of an opera singer. The number one difference is that popper singers almost exclusively sing with microphones, while an opera singer almost exclusively does not. We are trained to sing without microphones. And because of this, there is a big vocal difference between an opera singer and a popper singer. It's not that one's better than the other, it's just that we are trained differently. You have to sing very differently when you don't get to rely on a microphone to amplify you to the entire room. You breathe differently, you project differently. This is a reason why popper singers tend to have lighter voices than the standard opera singer. They're the kind of voice that would benefit from the help of a microphone getting them to the back of the room. Looking at a popper singer's professional history, they rarely perform in actual full-staged operas. If they do, it's either an aria that they sing here and there for a recital or like an operetta. And of course, one of the biggest differences being that their body of work mostly relies on pop ballads rather than operatic arias. Now, if you go through Andrea Bocelli's extensive career, he has done operatic performances on stage and he has done recorded albums of operas with other singers. However, some common feedback from critics from around the world has been that Bocelli's voice hasn't been up to the technical snuff as the rest of his colleagues. Apparently, while he was recording some of those operatic studio albums, concessions had to be made for his stamina and for what he could produce that day, because it was behind that of his colleagues that he was singing with. He's been criticized pretty much his entire career that his voice is too light, it's not full enough, it's not resonant enough, it's not supported enough. Basically all the things that you consider to be the cliche operatic sound, Bocelli has been told by the world of opera that he really doesn't have it. So my heart kind of goes out to a singer like Bocelli. He has always imagined himself to be a classical Italian tenor. He has been pigeonholed into that place by the market because he has expertly sold himself as the aesthetic of the true opera singer, even though the operatic community kind of rejects him. The opera world doesn't really want anything to do with him, and the pop world kind of running out of ideas. And this leads me to this new weird collab wave that I'm seeing with Bocelli. So two songs that I'm going to look at are two collabs with two very strange people that I wouldn't consider ever putting in front of Andrea Bocelli for any reason. And they're not strange, well, Ariana Grande is perfectly fine. Ed Sheeran, on the other hand, I don't have anything against him as a musician. I think he has a lovely voice and he's clearly a very talented guitarist, but Ed Sheeran has this incredible talent of looking out of place literally everywhere he goes. It does seem like the entertainment industry does just keep throwing him into situations where he clearly doesn't belong. It's like every industry at one point kind of looks around and goes, should we try Ed Sheeran? So first let's start with the Ariana Grande duet. So Bocelli and Ariana Grande put out this duet called E più ti penso, and it's like fine. The lyrics are kind of a classic, like, we're apart song, so it's like, the more I think of you, the more I miss you, without you, I'm gonna die. You know, just another classic feel-good Italian song. So the duet was released as an inclusion to, like, a songs from movies album thing that he was doing. And the song, E più ti penso, E tu Pitenso is from a movie called Once Upon a Time in America from 1984. So it's not like the song was written for them and someone was like, I just imagine you and Ariana doing this, but someone down the line put him and Ariana together to sing a love song, and it's just a little weird. I'm reacting from a lifetime of seeing two old men paired with two young women, but what are you gonna do? That's Hollywood, baby. I promise if you subscribe, I'll never do that again. And Ariana Grande does sing in Italian, and you know what? It's a pretty duet. They sing it pretty. The music video is kind of goofy, but whatever. It's not the most offensive collab I've ever seen in my life, or the weirdest. I think we're coming up on one of those in just a second, though. We're off to Ed Town, boys. So this duet with Ed Sheeran, called Perfect Symphony, to me, perfectly, pun, encapsulates everything I've just said about what makes Popera. It's capitalizing on aesthetic. It's capitalizing on you out there to know not much about opera, but you know what you think you're supposed to know about it. So Perfect Symphony does not have a symphony in it. Doesn't even have a symphony in the arrangement. I checked. I'm gonna check again just to make sure I'm right. Okay, I lied to you guys. There definitely is some attempt at something symphonic happening in this arrangement, but it's so close to the original backing track of the song, I can't play either of them because YouTube copyright. So, okay, you guys go check it out. So the music video is this weird, like, look at us, chill collab. Bocelli is leading Ed, this adorable little muppet of a man, through his massive Italian mansion. So this is what I mean. And what's funny is I do think Ed is almost the perfect candidate for a collab like this to capitalize on Bocelli's sorta opera world, because Ed at all times looks like a spectator even when he's supposed to be there. So Ed walking around kind of going, woo, look at that, look at that, throughout the music video is this amazing effect of, wow, look at Bocelli, look at this living legend, look at me, look at him. Ed gets to be us. It's like we all went to Bocelli's house. It's how we would all act in the presence of someone very famous, or at least someone with a reputation that is met with the kind of awe and general untouchability of the opulence of classical music. It's very interesting, and what comes out of it is a fine duet. What's funny here is that at all times I feel like I don't necessarily ever want to criticize the musicianship of any of these people, because it's not the singing that really matters. It's how they present themselves and how the market capitalizes on their presentation. Now look, do I think that Bocelli's a bad singer? No, I don't. He found his niche and he nailed it. He also found a whole system in support of him. He's collabed. He has a foundation. He's given to charity. He works with communities. He's all around a cool sounding dude who just likes to sing a little bit and hang out in his massive Italian villa. You know, legend has it that Ed Sheeran is still wandering around in there looking for the bathroom. However, I do completely understand the frustration of my operatic colleagues who often get kind of rolled into the Bocelli ball of not just conflation of what we actually do every day, but our rep as well. A lot of people I know are gonna have to sing Time to Say Goodbye, and when that time comes, goodbye. I'm not a part of it. I'm not a soprano. Our careers are completely different. Even if your ear hears a similar aesthetic, that is a completely different work ethic from the way that Bocelli ran his career and the way that opera singers do every day. Bocelli and opera singers are apple and orange. I don't know why I made them singular. I guess there is only one of Bocelli, I suppose. So Bocelli is apple and opera singers are oranges. So Bocelli, if I can call you Andrea, You know, we're close personal friends. This is a Bocelli-friendly channel. I support you, man. I think you've done some pretty cool things. I think you've sung with literally everyone I've ever wanted to meet in my life. So for that, I say way to go and best of luck. Best of luck. Yeah. He needs luck from me. Oh. Hey, I am viral now, to be fair. I have clout. Right? Guys? So thank you guys so much for joining me in my first installment of Popera Singer video. I haven't named this series yet. Stay tuned for what it's called. Part 1! Part 2 will be coming soon, and we will be visiting the queen of it all. You know her, you love her. Her hair is still the classic wig used on millions of Christines all over the world. It's Sarah Brightman, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! If you guys want more of me doing dumb stuff, I'm over on TikTok, I'm over on Instagram, and I'll catch ya next time. Bye!